Are we ready, Niyati? Niyati, are we
Yeah,
ready?
we are live.
Okay. And I would request everyone to put off your audios in the meanwhile. So on behalf of Matushri Manibai Sivji Devji Kanya Keroni Fund, which is the parent organization is Thanakwasi Majan, KVO Thanakwasi Majan, as most of you all are aware of. And very happy to welcome each one of you, to all the panelists, Amish, Aman, Kruti, Akruti, Darshan, Harsh, Nikhil, Aditya, Harshal, Heath. A warm welcome to all of you. And a very warm welcome to all the students and parents. We're very happy to say that at the turn of 7, we are already 130 on the panel. I mean, on the link. Participants are already 130. And we are sure that more would also be joining. We welcome parents also, because this is a very important session for parents as well. And this is on behalf of the organization. We already have Kishore Bhai, Sanjay Bhai, and probably a few more whom I can't see also on the list. So maybe, Niyati, if you can just bring them up also, then okay, fine. So I would just like to introduce Matushri Manibai. This is for the benefit of all the panelists who may not know what this organization is about, and for the benefit of the audience also. So this organization has started almost 55 years back, and it started on a note to promote education for girls, women education. And this was a time when education was not very common. Women were not, young girls were not encouraged for higher education. So this whole thing started at that time. And this was the visionary family of Matushri Manibai, their family, who thought that girls must be encouraged. And that was the discussion they had with the then Mahajan, Thanakwasi Majan's trustees and office bearers and all the people concerned. And that's how they instituted it under the banner of the Mahajan. So although it's a separate trust, but it is a part of the organization. And very happy to welcome all those who are part of it. The most primary role of this organization is disbursing interest-free loans to the students and merit-based as well as need-based scholarship. So the merit-based are evaluated on different concepts of holistic development. There are a whole lot of criteria. There is an entire jury process. And that's how we have the BCSMA, that is the Bhartibin Chimanlal Merit Award. We also have the Prince Merit Award, which is given to those students who have secured admission in premier institutes, just as our panelists today are. So it is not only given at the entry point, but even while you're studying. It's a merit scholarship. Besides that, we have need-based scholarship for all different fields of education, be it if the student is studying in government colleges, affiliated colleges, or privately run colleges or universities. So we are very happy to say that it's been a very, very popular activity, and many, many girls and women are taking advantage of it. Nevertheless, we are also striving towards creating more awareness, creating that platform of sharing knowledge. So there are several workshops, seminars which are conducted regularly, especially on entrepreneurship, languages, technology, and so on. The very popular program that has been conducted, and maybe some of you all have been part of it, is the career counseling seminar and the David Professional. So I don't know how many of you have taken part participants or panelists, but that's a feature that we do every year. So as part of that, which happens every year at the end of the year, which is in end of March or first week of April, that's the one-off program in the entire year. But we do realize that this has to be an ongoing process. Guiding students for seminars cannot happen only on one day of the year. And thereby we have selected several streams and we have been conducting programs on the different fields periodically. So we did complete 2 such programs in the past couple months. And this is the third, but a very important process, because today many students from different fields, be it commerce, science, art, engineering, medicine, so on and so forth, all aspire to do their MBAs. Very often, people who may have the right exposure, like our panelists have, and the determination to find out, to do their own research, not everyone is geared up for that. So very often, students land up paying very high tuition fees and all the other kind of fees, land up probably in organizations which may not give them a very promising career or a promising, satisfactory job. It may not have satisfaction, or it may not have proper remuneration. Some of the students even don't land up with a job coming out from such institutes. So there are many good institutes besides only the IIMs or the most popular ones. But at the same time, we thought, why not prepare students to at least get oriented and to get the courage to prepare for such entrance exams which are at the national level, and explore their own capability. If why not try to secure admission in good universities and in good colleges. And as part of that process of awareness, which we thought, not only from the remuneration or from the job point of view, but also to gain the right kind of knowledge, to get the right direction, we thought that it is important for us to guide students and let them explore for themselves whether they wish to get into this or no. And today we can already see 140 participants have logged in. And we are very sure that the sharing of the panel members, who are all our own, this sharing will take them a long way. And I just want to give one small example of a student, Sunny. He has, at the age of 21, he has got the highest. He has topped in BCom Banking Finance. He has completed all his 15 papers in actuaries from UK. He has also completed FRM 2 years from US. And he has done all this at the young age of 21 because he said that after his 10th, he attended such a career seminar where the guidance was just given as a passing statement, but he absorbed it. He went deeper into it. He researched for himself. And right from the 10th standard, he decided he wants to go ahead with it. And he has worked hard for it. It's just 5 years of his education and he has achieved so much. So we cannot imagine what the 10 of y'all can do to the 150 people who would have otherwise been here. So we really thank each one of you, the panel especially, for having given your valuable time. And y'all have already met, I believe, 2-3 times online to plan what you wish to give today. And it's a well-planned process. And I really wish all of you all the very best. All of you all come from the very popular IIMs, one from INSEAD, and they are our pride. You are our pride. The institution is definitely our pride, but you are our pride, having gone through the entire churning of the cat and gone through the process of education from there. So we know that you are also, as part of your responsibility, think that you would like to guide and mentor the younger ones. We can see how to take this further. Let it not be just a one-time webinar. Let us see how we can take the mentoring further and make it much more better. And as when I was talking to Amish, who's going to chair this session, he was very clear that let us all get connected to LinkedIn, and let's not get connected to informal WhatsApp chats and so on, and telephones. Let us connect professionally, and let us train the younger ones to get connected there. And I think he and the team made the right decision on that. And I'd just like to add for the participants, there were some participants who have asked whether they will get a certificate. So if you are attending the whole, and if you really wish to have a certificate, if you think it'll help you and make sense, do not hesitate. You can contact Niyati in Matushri office, or you can put it on the chat if you like it, if you want it, with your full name, how you want on the certificate, and we will see how to arrange it. And besides that, I would request all the participants to please keep your videos and audios off while the panel session is going on. And naturally, there will be a lot of time for question answers. The entire session is planned in such a way it won't be boring. I know the panelists have planned to make it very crisp and short so that there is more time reserved for question answers. Just thanks to all of you. Just wanted to add that Matushri Manibai Shivji Devji Kanya Kedoni Fund has celebrated its golden jubilee about 5 years back. And we are very happy that in the 55th year, we are able to still discuss education. That means the seed which was born 55 years back is still alive. The need of it is still alive. And we are very happy to have 3 panelists who are girls. You are our pride. We wanted to have 2-3 more, but we did try. They were not in Mumbai. They were still abroad. Even now, there is one who's 2 who are abroad, one in Jakarta and one in US. Nevertheless, we are happy to have you all. Thank you very much. I know, Aman, you are facing the challenges. You are in a remote place in Jakarta, and still you have joined. That's really commendable. Thank you very much. And I would like to hand over the proceedings to Sanjay Bhai, who is the managing trustee.
Good evening, one and all. My role is to introduce the moderator of the session, that is Amish Manjula Prafula Dedia from village Bidra. And the entire proceedings of the CAT workshop will be conducted by him. He resides in Ghatkopar and has completed his MBA from IIM Indore in 2007 after completing MCOM and BMS. He is currently as principal of Chirate Ventures and had works experience earlier with McKinsey, Yes Bank, and Pricewater. He has also been jury at LNMA and has also contributed at social functions like Tarun Mitra Mandal and eye donation and blood donation. Over to you, Amish. Whatever prior announcements that you need to make regarding your Q&A, please make them and take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sanjay Bhai, Ilaben, and KVO Stanakwasi Jain Mahajan under the umbrella where this program has been conducted. Really appreciate the effort taken to get us on board. And I thank my co-panelists also from the IIMs and one from INSEAD, those in India, those outside, within India, across different cities. So today we are here to share our experiences also and to take you through the journey of what CAT is, what MBA is. The way we will conduct the session is that we have a small presentation where there are slides and each of the panel member will cover a slide on the respective topics which were circulated in the Patrika, the 5 topics plus few more which we brainstormed and we thought we will have it for you. At the end of the session, we will have a Q&A, question and answer. The idea is to have at least 1 hour, 15 minutes. So let's say up to, we are near 7:20 right now. So up to 9 o'clock, maybe this session may go on at best, okay, around 8:45 to 9, where we will take another, let's say, 45-50 minutes to present our views, and post that we can have questions. My request would be that all of you post your questions in the chat box, which is available at the bottom of Zoom. You can put your query. At the end of it, we will see how to prioritize, and each of us will try to take the questions. And whenever you feel like contacting us for any query, we are available. Our contact details would be available in the presentation, which will also be eventually, available as Ela ma'am has mentioned. So without taking much more time, what I will quickly do is, since Patrika had all the introductions, so I will not spend time on introductions, and I'll just start sharing the presentation. Is my screen visible, team? Hello.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So here we go. Thank you once again, cracking the cat today, and thank you, KVU Stanakwasi Margin. The flow of the presentation is first, what is CAT? Then, which are the institutions which take or accept the CAT score? Is prior experience important? How to prepare for CAT? How would you go about, selecting a college, and which kind of programs are important? Little bit on the campus experience, because this is something new for you guys. You may not know, and not only IIMs, but in general, we'll cover broadly. Since Nikhil, our friend from INSEAD, is here, so we'll talk a bit about global MBAs, and then I will type just one quick slide on, the overall aspect of MBA. Though this session is about CAT, but let me speak a bit and then Q&A. So handing over the baton to Heath and Aman to speak about what is CAT. Heath, Aman, over to you.
Thank you so much, Amish. Firstly, super big thank you to Ela Auntie, Sanjay Uncle for being such a guiding light and encouraging all of us to study in some of the best institutes throughout the country. So thank you. And a special thank you to the KVO Stanakwasi Marjan as well as DDKF for organizing these events for young aspirants like us so that we can make more informed decisions about joining the institutes that we are heading or aiming towards. And it's a great way to connect within the community, find mentors, reach out on LinkedIn and learn from our experiences, as well as mentor and pass on the baton as you move forward. So with that context, let's dive right in, and over to Heath for a brief introduction of himself and what is CAT.
Thank you so much, Aman, and everybody present here. First of all, thanks to all of you to being here and supporting this program. This is all for you, and we are conducting all this for you. And hope you can take something away from the session. Not goofing around and just jumping into CAT. Now, I mean, I know everybody here is somewhat, skeptical or were always about the dream कि यार ये IIM क्या है, ये CAT क्या है, क्यों देना है हमें ये CAT? Is it that difficult? Only the top IITians can get into CAT. People like here, I mean, how will they get into CAT? वो तो यार सब engineer लोग ही कर सकते हैं. हम कहाँ से आएंगे यहाँ पे? That's not true. Me, myself, being from a commerce background, BMS, a very humble background, and same goes for Aman, who's also an engineer, but again, I can vouch for her being my senior and also my fellow colleague. We both can, actually vouch for how difficult or how easy the CAT is for you if you prepare well. So common admission test, that is what CAT stands for. And it is generally conducted for all the top MBA colleges and usually for IIM. So CAT is typically an exam which is conducted by an IIM, and usually a different IIM chooses the questions or prepares for the exam and that conducts it. So common admission test is that, and you can see the important dates and the typical timing that are listed on the slide here, as well as a section, what all sections do they have, and the questions and the duration that are there for. I think me and Aman are a little old for this one because when we had CAT, we almost had like 100 questions and 3 hours to prepare for it. But due to COVID, we had to have multiple batches to include everyone. And that is why this format has changed a little bit over the years. But the section stays the same. It's like verbal ability, digital data interpretation and logic, and quantitative aptitude. Now, verbal ability basically tests your knowledge into English, your grammar, how well you articulate and understand English, and how well you can present it, and analytically select or choose the correct option among the one listed above, in front of you. Data interpretation and logic. Now, this is one which is very special for CAT. I mean, people, I have got some like hundreds of messages wherein they say that we are never able to crack the DILR section, just data interpretation and logical reasoning. I mean, what is about it? How difficult is that? Now, to be very honest and very candid, it's all about how you use your common sense. It's all about logic, and CAT exam is in itself conducted in this particular logic that if you're a manager and you have like 100 problems in your hand, how are you going to counter it so that you can get the optimum benefit out of it? Now, it may sound a little bit, yaar, ye kya bol rahe ho aap? But in simple terms, if I say it, आप correct question choose करोगे, उसको correct time में solve करोगे, you will get the maximum marks. And I mean, that's as simple as that. I know I said it very simply, but it's not so simple. It takes a lot of practice and lots of hard work. But that is how all it is. Data interpretation, logical reasoning is, I think, one of the best section of CAT that is there, because it tests not just your verbal, but also your quantitative aptitude together along with your common sense. So this is one of the interesting and one of my most favorite section. And quantitative aptitude is basically testing your quantitative skills or your mathematical skills, how well you can do it, and how analytically well on how fast you are in that. Some people think that they are not so good at maths. Being a commerce grad myself, I think that engineers have an advantage over me. But it's all about selecting the right question, solving it as fast as I can. So this is a brief about what the CAT exams have. Aman, if you would like to take the next topic.
Yep. So just adding a little bit on that, on eligibility of the exams. So basically, students in their final year who've completed graduation or are still awaiting results can apply for the IIMs and the other institutes. However, that being said, that's a criteria for application for your MBA. It's not a necessary criteria to give the CAT exam. And I highly encourage for all of you on this call to, just register randomly this year with zero prep, especially for those of you who are in the first year and second year. So just go give CAT. What it did for me when I gave it without zero prep is really remove the fear of unknown. So it literally is like English and math in school, and see how you turn out, right? Like no pressure whatsoever. Just see where is it that you're starting at, and just the WhatsApp messages that keep floating, or CAT 99.9 percentile, is it the end of the world? Just go test the waters for yourself, especially for the formative years. Go give the exam, and just try to break that barrier largely. Coming to some typical timelines, the application duration typically is from July to August. The exam itself is from November last week to early December. You get the results fairly quickly. It's an online exam. So in Jan, you'll have your results. And the GDPI rounds happen in Feb and March. A very candid confession for me, I wasn't a 99 point some percentiler. My percentile was a little lower. But really, I think my 10th, 12th extracurriculars, as well as my undergrad grades got me. So especially, I saw the profiles of most of you, y'all are in your formative years. So make sure you participate in a lot of extracurricular activities. Not only are they more fun, but they also count for more points in your application to the IIMs, as well as to the jobs as you move ahead. And just one other thing, which is not part of today's agenda, but when I was back there, what is an MBA is also like a big question mark. So I think typically an MBA is something that will enable you to solve strategic business problems in organization. It can be a marketing related case study. It can be operations. It can be literally just designing the strategy. And that's something I do for a living. I'm a management consultant at Carney. And the kind of problems we get is super exciting. We solve like, okay, how does this company XYZ in the insurance sector grow by 5x in the next 5 years? And with like interacting with CXO level suite almost day in, day out to define their strategy for them. So it's super exciting problem statements, getting the cream of the problem statements as well as the cream of the resources so that you can execute them. And it really establishes a lot more credibility. Now, if I'm randomly messaging people on LinkedIn, they just reading IIM Bangalore or reading that I've done my MBA, the credibility establishment has really been a big achievement. But that being said, I don't think I remember anything from my MBA course. The biggest takeaway for me has been the friendships, the hostel life, and I think where I got to travel over 15 countries with a lot of my friends, including Iceland and Greece. So I like just get through MBA, then it's one big party waiting for you and life just opens up. Happy to take up any questions towards the end. Over to you, Heath, in case you want to cover anything else here.
I saw some interesting questions. Thank you, Aman, first of all. I think you covered it very briefly and very nicely. And you summed up experience of, I think, most of the panelists that are present here. But just I saw some interesting questions. Before I take them up,
These the questions will be at the end of the session, okay? Not now.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. So is CAT the only way for an MBA? Absolutely not. There are many more exams that you can prepare for. Being said that CAT is one of the most prominent exams because IIM is conducted, and usually you do have a name for an IIM, but there are many other colleges who come in the top tier, be it MDI, be it IIFT, or be it Symbiosis and MIMS, for example. Those all are also very prestigious colleges and also give you good exposure post your college. So you have your NMAT, MyCAT, ZAT, SNAP. The list goes on and on. It's basically on you what your goal is in the end, that what you want to achieve. For example, that you are giving an MBA exam just for the degree or for the sake of it, then please go for any other college. If you're really looking forward to skill yourself or to be above a certain criteria or be above the audience that are usual or the average audience, you'll prefer the best exams that are there and the best colleges that are there present around, and you will take the right exam. It's also about the return on investment, where I think everybody here takes, have watched Shark Tank maybe. If not, then maybe you should watch it. But yeah, return of investment is one of the basic concepts, and you should always look forward to it and understand that if I'm taking any particular course or any particular college, for example, am I getting that return? For example, I'm investing some 10, 12 lakhs in a particular college, and suppose that my job or placement or average placement in that college is for 6 lakhs. That is obviously not advisable. It should at least match your the fees that you're paying and the people who are there or who are going to be present and the network that you're going to build in that particular college. Talking about all of that, I think that is also a broad criteria. It can be, I can go on and on about it, but this is basically what CAT is about, what MBA in whole is about. MBA is just upskilling yourself. You can be from any background. You can just apply for a CAT, apply for any exam instead, and you will get through a good MBA college based on how you perform. But first of all, don't be afraid of taking any exam. Just like Aman said, test the waters. If you're feeling afraid कि यार ये exam में मैं कैसे perform करूँगा, just test the waters. Give an exam for once, you'll understand that where you stand. Even if you are not prepared and if you think that probably I scored very bad, it's not an issue. I had scored very bad in my first attempt as well. But I gave on and on. I knew what my goal was, and I finally reached where I am. So all the best to every one of you. I'll handle it to Amish, and I think he'll take the session forward. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aman and Heath. Next, which are the institutions which accept CAT in India and outside of India? Yeah. So I think it'll be covered by Akruti. Akruti, over to you. Yeah. And of course, humble request to the panel, anything which you're anticipating, I'm sure some of the questions are obvious in nature. So I think they are well covered in some of our slides and balance will cover in the end. Yeah. Thanks. Okay.
Right. So hi, everyone. Let's just briefly touch upon which exams, like he said, exist. And so, if you've just randomly done a Google search, which I'm sure बहुत लोग करते हैं, you found out that there are 10 or 11 exams, which are the more prominent ones. And so the reason for that is that, within the IIMs itself, there is no one single admission criteria for the IIMs except for the CAT exam. And within the other institutes, they can be private institutes and they could choose to accept any exam that they want. Having said that, the more prominent ones are the top 5 on this slide. So there is CAT, of course, which covers a lot of institutes, and the list gets updated every year. But primarily, it does cover the IIMs. Some of the IITs also offer management courses. For example, Shailesh J. Mehta School of Management within IIT Bombay offers a very fantastic management degree. There is also colleges like MDI Gurgaon, FMS Delhi, and other private institutions, of course. Apart from this, there is XAT, which is Xavier's the test for XLRI, which is basically they have two flagship programs, which is the business management and the HR management. Then there is IIFT, NMAT for NMIMS specifically, SNAP, which covers the Symbiosis Institutes, and so on and so forth. So depending on which domain you are targeting, first of all, you should try to research some of these things. And so I think at the end of this presentation, we will be sharing our slides in which there are some links at the end. So I would suggest everybody to just go through those links one time. And score validity for CAT and all of the other exams is 1 year. So basically, if you give the exam this year and you get a really good score, the time to act on this is now. You can't defer the score until next year. And however, for GMAT, you can have a validity of up to 3 to 5 years depending on institute. And in India, GMAT is taken by SP Jain Institute as well as ISB in Hyderabad. These are the two prominent ones, but then there are some other programs which also might accept. So you might have to go to the website of the college and check on their this thing. But the prominent institutes are which I spoke about. Right, handing over to the next person.
Thank you, Akruti. Next, Aditya would like to cover what is WorkX. Is it important prior to CAT? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Amish. Hi, everyone. So before we cover if is WorkX really important prior to MBA, let's understand the three main reasons, while there are many, why people generally prefer to do an MBA. The first one is that after your undergrad, people generally end up in technical roles. You can be an engineer with one of the engineering firms. You can join up as a consultant, junior consultant in some of the other firms. What MBA does, as the name suggests, is that it upgrades you, it graduates you to a more managerial role, a more business related role. The second reason is that there are certain lucrative roles in organizations, larger organizations like HUL, I'm sure Aman will also know, McKinsey, BCG, Bain, where you need to be an MBA to really be eligible for those roles. So that is also one of the bigger reasons why you do an MBA. And the third one, which was the reason why I did an MBA, is it really opens up many more options for you. It gives you clarity about what all is there in the market. And it also helps people change their fields altogether. So initially, there are now moving over to the next piece. Yes, there is work experience is not a prerequisite for an MBA. And there are plenty of literally all colleges in India except freshers for their MBA courses. Having said that, however, relevant WorkX does help you give an edge over the others. Now, what I mean is this, let's say I was with JP Morgan before my MBA, and because of that, I did have some prior finance knowledge. So while I was in college, I was naturally much in a much better position compared to my colleagues to make decisions or to to get my profile selected with the top recruiters. And let's be very honest, when you go to an MBA school, most people are 22, 23, 28, going up to 30 years. People are serious about their careers. So it is competitive out there. And having relevant WorkX does help you. The next, moving over, I think the other reason why you should also have a WorkX is that, B schools have a different methodology to teach you. It's not as if your teachers are going to sit you, take lectures, you take notes, and then you write exams exactly what was taught in the classes. The teaching in B schools is very, very case-based. There's a big amount of P2P learning involved over here.
Yes, right. Yes.
Sorry. And if you've been part of a corporate world before, you'll be able to learn better, grasp better, and even contribute better in that 2 years of college. The last one is, if you go to a college with work X, right? How do I put it? It'll be easier for you. Let's put it very simply out over there. So yeah, while it is not required, after you graduate from your college, it is advisable that you have at least some work X. You join whatever college you want. It just helps you get that much more clarity once you've gone to that college and you seek further opportunities. Amish, handing it back over to you again.
Thank you, Aditya. Appreciate this. Next topic is how do we go about preparing for this, any kind of an exam, including CAT. So Arsh, Akruti, Harshal, over to you to cover the next section, please.
Hey, thanks a lot, Amish. Hi, friends. Thank you for being here. So go now. You know that you are at a stage in life and you have to give CAT. You've made up your mind. Now the question shifts to how you should prepare for it and how you should ace it so that your hit rate is higher, right? The first thing that we should start with is generally planning, and which helped me a lot. Was actually setting my target on which IIM I wanted to go to. In my case, fortunately, unfortunately, I was very sure about that I wanted to go to IIM Bangalore. I knew my reasons of selecting that particular college. I also knew what I should do to get in. What is the number of what are the pass code that will get you in? What is the pass code which will get you a call? Your interviews scheduled accordingly. So this is one thing that you should keep in mind. The second thing is setting your targets. Is also creating a particular and meticulous plan of studying, right? And for that, you'll have to research a lot on what kind of a prep material you should go with. The initial discussion is between whether to go for classes or do it on your own. For some people who are working, classes generally clash with their work timings, so they prepare to do. So they prefer to do it on their own. I prefer to do it on my own because of that same reason. However, I have seen friends to whom classes have made a huge contribution to. However, said that it's an additional expense on your behalf, right? The next thing is the prep material. People who go to classes generally have their prep materials sorted. However, those who generally do it on their own.
हेलो सर वॉइस क्रैक हो रहा है
Your
Sorry,
voice
Amish,
is
am I
fine
audible?
for us. No, it is fine. Arsh, it is fine. Sorry, sir.
Oh, sure.
Maybe your network. Apologies. Yeah.
Sure, sorry. Just getting back to the prep material. For some
Sorry.
people who are doing it on
Just a note to all the participants, kindly do not disturb. Just move your position. Maybe you'll get a better network.
Thank you, ma'am. So carrying on. On the prep material part, the second is when you are preparing on your own, what to refer to. Go to the internet, I would say, explore a bit, check with the friends what they are doing, what material they are referring to, and you'll be sorted. At the end of the day, it comes to how much you prepare for it. The material in my humble opinion might or might not contribute so much, but it's your preparation at the end which will take you through. The next thing is continuous evaluation, right? Once you set this entire schedule of what you are doing, you will sometimes be 100% with it, sometimes fall back, sometimes run ahead. Continuous evaluation of this particular plan, this particular schedule, etc., will help you get back on track. Take a retro, take a step back, see what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, what are your improvement areas, and go ahead with it. So yeah, thank you. Over to Akruti for the preparation part.
Right. So, like Arsh said very well, planning is, half the game one as far as CAT journeys go. And even more so when, like right now, what is happening is, the journey itself is quite unpredictable, right? The number of questions at the end of your preparation journey in the final paper were also uncertain until last year and can continue to be like that. So, as far as preparation goes, So first of all, when we plan, we always, kind of go backwards and, try to keep a certain milestone for ourselves. Where do we want to be at the end of a certain duration of time in our prep journey? And accordingly, we should give due amount of time to sort of experiment with different methods of solving questions or of timing ourselves. So, I mean, for me personally, it used to be three metrics. It was accuracy, it was time, and then it was efficiency of dropping questions rather than picking questions. So, because you can get stuck on one question और उसके बाद आपका 5-10 मिनट वहाँ पे waste होने के बाद you will realize that now you can't complete this section and it's a lost cause then. So, ये three metrics पे you kind of try to gauge each mock test that you give, and that iterative journey of trying new methods. Let's say you tried multiplying numbers a certain way today, but tomorrow you can try it a different way, just giving an example. So all of those things, and that will trying these methods on different days, on at different times of the day, because there are 3 slots in which the paper happens. So all of these things kind of give you a view of what works for you and what doesn't work for you. And so accordingly, you can sort of, structure your prep to emphasize on the weaker parts of your, what is not working for you. And practicing what works for you is more important than covering the weaker parts sometimes, because you know कि आपका weakness है, so you don't even try to conceal it in any way. Assume that these are lost marks or lost cause, and you go with the things that you are strong at. And giving mocks, right? So, I mean, there is this very important question that how many mock tests is enough mock tests in a prep journey? There are people who give one every alternate day and so on and so forth. Honestly, there is no right answer to that. But one thing that I would like to say to people is that you should start at least 4 to 5 months in advance giving mocks. Because until you attempt an actual exam paper, you're never going to know कि उस दिन आपके साथ क्या होने वाला है. And even then, things could go wrong on the day of the exam or just go different to what you planned, and you don't know how it's going to work. So give as many mocks as you can, but don't tire yourself out close to the exam. And post any kind of mock or attempt, you need to analyze your performance. In fact, if the mock itself is 3 hours, your analysis should be 6 hours in the beginning. So you know exactly what happened and what worked, what didn't work, even going question by question and mapping it to the basic concepts that you're messing up. So that's as far as preparation goes.
Right. So yeah, thank you, Harsh and Akriti. Bang on points on planning and preparing. But another thing which could elevate your preparation for CAT would be to collaborate with peers who are in the same boat as you. There would be friends. There would be if you're going to a class, then classmates, or those could be your engineering batchmates or basically graduation batchmates or etc. Those would also be going for CAT, and you could prepare along with them. You could exchange notes. You could point out what things are going well for you, what are not. You could so since we also know that CAT is a combination of multiple aspects that are being tested. It's not just about getting questions correct. It's also about getting them correct quickly, and also also making sure that you get the most amount of questions correct. So you should. So there is also a hint of strategy involved when you are attempting the CAT paper. So these things always helps as you go through your mocks. You will try out new strategies on and see how they pan for you. Over the mocks, you will sort of figure out which things work for you, which don't, so that in the actual paper you are not caught off guard thinking what exactly to do. Second thing which is essential is having mentors or seniors. They have gone through the process. They have talked with multiple people. They have a good understanding of how to crack CAT. So it is important if you can also discuss with them about your journey, what all things you can improve basis your performance so far, where you are struggling. Accordingly, you can figure out a way as to how to best tackle this the cat and come out with flying colors. Finally, there are also online resources available. There's Pagal Guy, there's Inside IIM, YouTube videos. There are multiple more sources. There are many mock papers available online. There are multiple websites also, some of which are also a part of the presentation at the end. They are in the references section. So these would also be extremely beneficial to you when you are going through a journey. So all of these should also be a part of your preparation kit. It is not a solo ride. When you do it with people, you can actually amplify the effect of all the efforts that you're putting in. Finally, just on the actual day of the cat, just make sure that you are calm, you are relaxed. If there's a difficult section, you are stuck on some question, just make sure that you understand that it is okay to let go questions. Sometimes some sections are difficult, but they're difficult for everyone. So don't fret too much about it, and it's not over till it's over. Just give your attempt in a calm head. That is the most helpful. So back to you, Amish.
Thank you, three of you. Next is selection of college and the type of MBA program. I think a lot of questions have come across this, so I'm sure Darshan, you will kind of give a hint around some of the points anticipated.
Yeah, thanks. This question comes once people have given CAT, people have cleared through interviews, and then people luckily have the chance to make a choice of where do they want to go, right? So rather than saying ki how to choose, etc., first let's create a very simple question ki why is anyone doing an MBA here, right? And every person's reason for doing an MBA is going to be very different. For me, I was straight out of my engineering school and I wanted to do MBA because I did not have a core job which I loved doing in India. Then there will be people who take up technical jobs but have spent some time in technical jobs and want to change jobs into non-technical roles. Or there is going to be someone who wants to grow within the organization, but without a master's degree or a business degree, there is no growth coming out there. So the question to this whole problem, right, which college to join or which course to pick would ideally come out from what is a person expecting out of the MBA which he or she is going to do. And there is no right or wrong answer. What I've kind of shown written on the slide is what is the most common parameters which people use, right? Most people will do one of the two things. Which college over the last years has been ranked consistently higher? Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, if it in terms of IIMs, put that as the ranking order. Whichever you get it, people are going to take it. It was the case with me. It was the case with majority of people. But the difference after having gone through 2 years of MBA and having spoken with enough people who've been through other colleges is that there is not real too much of a difference which you will find in these colleges. Everyone is pretty much same in terms of placements, rankings and numbers. The kind of batch you will have in the campus is pretty much same, right? Unfortunately, it will be heavily biased towards engineers, where more than 80% of the batch will be engineers, followed by commerce grads and art students. I think someone has already mentioned teaching is going to be very different in most of the top B schools. It is not something which most of you guys would have encountered so far. It is not a lecture mode where there is a teacher coming in and teaching what needs to happen. The teaching is going to be self-teaching in most of the good colleges, right? It is all about understanding and sharing of ideas. So all these pieces, typically common parameters which I've called it, is not where the difference comes in. Like I said, at least what should help you guys to make a thing is, how does the MBA help you not immediately after finishing the MBA, but how it is going to help you in long run, which is, let's say, for me now, 8 years post graduation, or someone after 15 years, right? And it is the network which you get and access to people which you get, right? That is where, let's say, some of the older schools have benefits, where, let's say, IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta are 50 years old and they have a very broad alumni network with whom they actually engage quite regularly. Like I said, some of you guys will be very clear what you want to do in your future. And that is where the stereotyping comes in. So if someone wants to enter into consulting, or someone wants to enter into marketing, they prefer to go into IIM Ahmedabad. Someone who's very clear that, yes, I want to be a finance person, they prefer to go into IIM Calcutta. And someone who wants to be more general guy, they prefer to go into IIM Bangalore. Similarly, the biggest thing which you're going to take away from your what MBA is going to prepare you is not the curriculum which you're going to learn there. After 2 years, no one is going to remember what you learned in your B schools. It is, everything is learning on the job. But what it is going to train you is how to actually cope up with the rigor of corporate world which is going to come in, right? And that each school has its own approach there. IIM Ahmedabad is known for its academic rigor. They will make your life miserable for your first year, which basically makes you ready for what is going to come once you enter into corporate world again. Versus Bangalore takes a more balanced approach. So these are the more parameters which I think should help you take a decision which college to decide. And again, my experience is 8 years old. Things change over time, and how you guys would get to know this is speaking with more recent batches, the more recent batches which have graduated from these schools. That is what is going to help you understand how is this thing going on each of these colleges at the moment, and what suits you more, or if there is a piece which you're trying to fix for yourself, what is it that you should be looking for? If you could just move to the next slide. The other question which typically comes is, which course should I pick, right? Because they offer a bunch of courses. Broadly, if you were to look at it, right, there are two broad set of courses which are available. One is what you would call it as a 2-year MBA program, and one is a 1-year MBA program. 2-year MBA program, I would say, is more suited for people who have either someone like me who was just out of engineering school, or have up to 4 years of experience. It gives you enough time to understand a lot of things. You are not corporate, you are where entry level people. So you have learned basics of things, and it is helping you gain knowledge of where you were short-sighted and prepare you for the middle management run. But if someone decides, okay, I have had 5 years or 6 years of work experience, and this is where I need an MBA, possibly a 1-year program makes more sense for you, because again, you have now enough domain knowledge for yourself, and all the foundational courses are something which you're already very used to. You don't need it much more. That is where possibly the 1-year courses come into picture. That is how I put it. The PGP is the flagship program which all the IIMs offer, the 2-year program, and from a curriculum perspective, not too much of a difference, right? What is different is possibly of recently, a lot of these IIMs have started introducing courses which have certain specialization. The core PGP flagship program is a general management program. There is no specialization offered to you. First year, everyone learns foundational courses, same courses. By term 3, you start some electives. Term 4, 5, 6, you decide, okay, I have more inclination towards a particular field, and that is the courses which you pick, and that is how you learn and become, quote unquote, get the specialization which you want for. But with the changing dynamics happening in the industry, there is PGP in business analytics, which IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta have introduced, which focuses heavily on which is something which is coming up new. Agribusiness pretty much it's been there with IIM Lucknow, IIM Ahmedabad for some time. The way it is first year is focused on, again, same courses like a normal PGP. But in second year onwards, the focus goes more on agribusinesses and introduces a lot of flavor of what goes on in agriculture related businesses, and that flavor comes in. Having said that, in either courses, right, be it any specialization courses which happens is, the first year is going to be same with the PGP folks. The second year in a specialization focus, if you want to enter that specialization, there is going to be a predefined coursework for you, versus in PGP, it is something which you will decide for yourself. How do you decide what is best for you, 1 year versus 2 years? I think one parameter which could help you decide that is, in case of PGP, the kind of organizations who come to hire again are ones who are looking for more entry level management or lower management lower management folks within the organization. And for someone who has had 7 to 8 years of experience by then, might not be suited for such roles. And for them, possibly the 1 year PGP X or EPGP, as I've written it, makes more sense because they come for middle management within the organization. There is, I think there was another question, does an online MBA make sense? I think amongst the bigger organization, IIM Ahmedabad is the only one which was started with an remote MBA kind of an option. Again, I haven't experienced it, so can't say more, but I think the biggest takeaway for me in the 2 years of MBA when you are in hostel is two things: the rigor which you go through in class, and having to work with people together, not only for your academic, but also outside academics in case competitions, etc., where you learn to work as a team. Because unlike your undergraduate, where you do things alone and you will sail through it, in MBA, that is not the expectation. You are not supposed to be an individual contributor. You are supposed to know how to work in teams, not only for your coursework, but also that prepares you for your future organizations, right? That is how it is. That is how it would be. So that is how I would put it. I would put 0 to 4 years experience, possibly go for a PGP. 5+ years of experience makes sense, that go for a PGP, EPGP executive program. There is again a final piece of program which few of the IIMs offer, which is for working professionals. So what it offers is, you can continue to be working for during that tenure of the course, and over weekends you attend classes and do the coursework in person, whereas during the weeks you submit assignments, etc. This is more focused towards people who are not in a position to leave their current roles for whatever for the limitations which they would have had. Does it, again, whether or not you should do it or not depends on question on what you expect out of the degree or the program for yourself. If you are learning to upskill yourself, definitely a good program for yourself. But if you're expecting that after doing that course, you probably be considered out in the corporate at par with, let's say, a core flagship PGP student, possibly no, because industry understands that the rigor has not gone through it. But having said that, it definitely upskills everyone who is looking for it. So yeah, back to you, Amish.
Excellent. I think, Darshan, very well covered. I'm sure the group would have had many questions addressed. I think over the next 15 odd minutes, let's cover the last 3 topics we have. IIM campus experience, this is one of the most interesting sections. Kruti, maybe we can keep it a little short because I think there'll be a lot of other questions. So please, and Kruti also, please chime in here. Yeah.
Sure. So, okay, really quickly, right? I'm currently in my 2nd year and I'm about to graduate in a month from IIM Bangalore. So with that, the last 2 years have been like one of the most life-changing experiences of my time. I mean, just in general. And before this, I've lived for the most of my life I've lived at home. And the whole hostel experience kind of taught me the importance of what residential MBA courses can give you. Of course, you learn even when you're living at home, but the kind of bonding, the kind of friendships or connections that you would develop in a residential course are completely different. And then there's, of course, and that leads to interacting more with your peers, learning in different ways, not just academically, but doing case competitions or some sort of solutioning challenges, and all of those things add to your learning. And MBAs at the IIMs are not just about academics. They are actually a mixture of a lot of things. There's extracurricular activities, sports, taking leadership in the student body. There is also, external competitions, etc., as well as your summer internship experience. And as many of you know, in the 2-year program at IIMs, the summer internship comes at the end of the first year and is a mandatory part of the program. And this is a time for a lot of evaluation, because it might so happen that you're placed with a company where you're thoroughly enjoying the role, it's challenging you, and you decide that this is something that you want to do for the rest of your life. But equally importantly, there could be instances or experiences where you have a bad experience or you don't like what you're doing, and that is also important, because that teaches you ki maybe this is not for you. And ruling out things like that is also important in a course as general as an MBA. Professionally, of course, you grow by leaps and bounds, but personality development ke liye bhi this is a very critical time. Personally, for me, I had always felt that I was not up to taking a lot of initiative, or I kind of shied away from responsibility in one sense. And putting myself out there in the MBA kind of gave me the room to make mistakes and take risks and learn how to develop those aspects of my personality. And of course, at the end of the day, like Aman also mentioned earlier, what you take away from the MBA is memories, experiences. And I would say maybe you should try to get a cheering squad of your own, people who are going to be with you through thick and thin, and who will not be afraid to tell you the truth to your face, which chahe kitna bhi honest and harsh kyun na ho. And of course, you have to in turn be somebody else's cheerleader, try to bring some other person up with. And in conclusion, basically, these two questions have kept me, I think, alive in the last 2 years. If you're not scared enough, you're not spending your time well enough. You should always constantly feel challenged. That's the way I think about it. And at the end of every day, I ask myself, what new did you learn or do today? And if I have a good answer for it, I know that it's a day well spent on the time. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, Kruti, do you want to take this up?
Yeah, I just want to put in more points about IIM campus experience. It is a very diverse community, I would say. Like, I had batchmates from Andaman Nicobar to Kashmir to Nagaland. And I'm sure a lot of us would have similar batchmates. All of them are extremely achieving. Most of the times, a lot of them had gold medalist for swimming, president's medal for singing. So it's just not that they are very good in the curricular activities, but you have a lot of clubs, from singing to music to whatever, to kind of have your interests go forward. That could also be, and it was not limited to me having just engineers. It was also a lot of people who were already entrepreneurs, who was a luxury wedding photographer, and she came in. So it is very diverse in a way, which you might, as me, who lived my life approximately 25 years only in Mumbai, mostly interacting with my CA group, this was very different. It challenges you a lot, because where everybody is good, you would have been very good in your school and college, but you will find there are many people who are doing a lot more. So this will challenge you. There is diversity. There is also competition. A lot of times it is about placements of where you are, or a lot of talk, but you have to step back and think about the overall experience. So that is one of the main takeaways that I would like to share with the group, that it's competitive in general, but do not lose your perspective. You are the captain of your own ship. How much you get out of your own MBA is kind of how much you put out there, is what Akruti already mentioned. But you go out there, there will be your infrastructure which is there. There might be an incubator in your college, but you have to go talk to people who are interested in similar opportunities or entrepreneurship, if you are. So it's you going out there and taking the best. You are the captain of your own ship. There will be nobody. I don't know if it's a CA course, there will be people around you, you know that they will might ask you, oh, how many attempts it is, how much have you studied, whatsoever. In an engineering college too, this might happen, but for an MBA, it doesn't happen. Nobody will care. You have to care for your own, that you have to put yourself there, push yourself and get the best for you. Life after MBA, you would have like, there are innumerable career paths. It's your free choice what you want to do. Even after MBA, many people change their career paths 10 years down the line, and it's absolutely fine. It's your choice. It could be a consulting career, finance career, general manager, product manager. You have those choices, and you can make them either when you join. You can have that goal even when you are during the program or before the program or later on. It doesn't matter. So it will just enable you to make those choices better. That's what I say. It is an enabler to help you achieve what you want to like. Specific IIMs. This was a question of specific IIMs have a particular domain expertise. So yes, it is also because they've been there out for so long. Like some of the colleges 50 plus years old, while some of the colleges are new IIMs, they might be 5 years old. So they do not have as much of a network that has been built of people who've been there for long. So yes, some domain expertise is there. Yeah, so you need to, the importance of network in post MBA careers. Let me take a moment there. In any job that you do, MBA or non-MBA, if you want a consulting career, you want to grow your business, you will need to speak to multiple people. You want to be a service provider, be a wedding photographer, you will have clients to speak to, you will have to put yourself there to grow your business. You are an entrepreneur, you will need to talk to 50 people before talking to. So in any circumstance, even within any role that you are in a company, you will just need to network out there. And this is what MBA will help you with. Build your own network. It will help you reach a network which is even outside of your MBA class, the senior class, junior class. But you will have to do that. You cannot restrict yourself. Once you go through it, you will also understand that you cannot restrict yourself to your own circle. But life is not set after you've gone for your MBA. No course will give you that degree in life that you've achieved everything in general. So do not have maybe unrealistic expectations. Do experiment if you want to. It will just change the way you look at things differently. And networking is all about perspectives, learning from each other. So go ahead and do it. I want to mention something about the success, or not. Don't measure your success on the number. Don't measure your success on a placement number of X salary. So you will find the data about average salaries everywhere. They could be misleading because average, you need to look at median, not averages in general. And in some cases, I know some people who did not go for an MBA because it did not make a sense for them financially. Course fees of each colleges are different. Compensation expected of each college is different. It is about your own ability. So you need to do that cost benefit analysis by yourself. If you cannot do it, seek help. You do not want a very big financial burden. Everybody's life situation is different. So make that analysis for yourself. If you cannot, ask for help. I guess I had this. Over to you, Amish.
Thank you, Akruti and Kruti. Yeah, great. I think some additional point. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
can I add the placement process? There's actually a linked question. So regarding the placement process, right? I mean, so the reason why I've mentioned this specifically on the slide is because when you exit an like a PGP course or a MBA course at an IIM, you kind of go out with a placement. With a guaranteed placement. However, these placements are, a function of a lot of things. They are the function of the background that you already have. It's also the function of the things that you learned, the kinds of courses that you took, the kind of grades that you got, the other things that you did within your MBA. So, sometimes it does happen that you go out with a placement which does not make sense to you or is not where you envision yourself to go. In that case also, the process itself, by the way, is a big learning because one, it teaches you how to handle a lot of stress within a very short time. Secondly, it really is a very big litmus test of who is your real friend and who is not. And the third thing is that finally, even if you're not going into that same domain, through the point of networking, you can get into that target. All you have to do is basically plan your career trajectory. So, placement processes in MBA colleges, if you go online and read up on Quora or Pavel Guy, are seen as very stressful events. But this was my way of clarifying that this is not really so. And the stress is only as much as you want to take. Having said that, aiming for the top colleges itself makes your trajectory much better in terms of the kinds of placements you can get.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorry,
great.
thank you. You brought this. Just a minute, Amish. So yes, it is also about like other factors like timing, the industry, and most colleges might have single offer sign out process. Like it's is very may not know, but you might have to accept the first offer that you get. Unless it's like you might have just one option for your dream company. So there are a lot of challenges. So just like talk to a lot of people.
Okay, cool. I think there was one of the colleagues who wanted to cover around EWS and merit. Go ahead, sir. Yeah. Hello.
Yeah. Thanks, Amish. So basically, these were a couple of points which were which are not very well known among the community. So I'll just briefly touch base on that for 2 minutes. EWS is basically a new reservation quota which is brought in by the government. It has a 10% reservation across. It also includes the IIMs. Eligibility is basically annual family income of less than 8 lakhs. Currently, it's subject to change. Also, there are some restrictions on the land that the family has. It's simple, just it's obtainable via the nearby Tehsildar's office. And also one key thing to note is there are different certificates for state level and central level institutes. So for IIMs and all, typically you'll need central level, while the state colleges you'll need the state level institutes. Also certificates, sorry. Second thing also, there's a merit cum means minority scholarship. So it is offered to economically weaker candidates from the minority communities, which includes gens. It actually has a full tuition fee reimbursement if you're admitted to one of the 85 premier institutes. This includes IIMs as well as most IITs and many other premier institutes across India. So even if you're not, even if you're going for a graduation course, this might be something that you can look out. It's on the National Scholarships portal, and you can also find the detailed procedure and the list of documents there itself.
No, good, Harshal. I think thanks. Maybe in the interest of time, we'll go ahead, Harshal. I think point well covered. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I think we'll just touch upon quickly around global MBA. Nikhil, are you there on the call? Maybe few minutes if you can spend around the global MBA. Okay. And then we move towards Q&A later. Yeah.
Sure,
thanks.
Thanks. So hi everyone. First of all, though this is about CAT and I'm talking about global MBA, I want to mention one thing. I have gone through the CAT process not once, not twice, but thrice. Okay. So whatever all the panelists have mentioned till now regarding the CAT process, regarding what is important for a B school, not important for a B school, life in a campus, I totally agree to that. So to all the members, whatever they have said, it's worth its weight in gold. They are bang on with everything they have mentioned with respect to CAT preparation and everything. Now, coming to global MBA, global MBA is unmatched if you get into a top B school. And by top B school, I mean globally top 30. If you get into one of them, the kind of opportunities that you will get, the kind of network you will form, it's truly unmatched. I know people who are GM of Uber Eats in Amsterdam. I know people who are working with IMF in New York. I know people working with UN. So the kind of network it gives you, the kind of opportunities it gives you, it's unimaginable. So that's one. But what does it take to get into one? I would say work experience, it is a must. Minimum work experience for any international MBA is 2 years. But having said that, especially for Indians, since there are a lot of Indian applicants, it's very difficult even to get in with 3 years of work. So typical, I would say average would be somewhere between 4 to 6 years of work experience to get in. GMAT, so all the international MBAs, they look only at the GMAT score. Typically, a score over 700 is considered good. Over 750 is exceptional. So that's the other criteria. Third, and that's very interesting, that's the community service part of it. I remember Aman had mentioned initially that during CAT interviews and everything, they go into details of your extracurriculars and what else you have done. For global MBAs, they don't look into the extracurriculars during your college life. They basically see while you were working, what all community service were you doing, where were you involved as a volunteer, and how you were helping people and community around you. So that's a very, very important factor there. Last point here, global MBA, it's great for those who struggle with CAT because the admission is more holistic. Now, typically in India, if you don't get through CAT, let's say if your percentile is in the 70s or 80s, it's very difficult even to get called for an interview. And it's very natural. I remember someone else said it earlier as well. Engineers get an edge. Yes, we do get an edge because we have done maths for at least 8 to 10 years, and that does gives us an edge. So for anyone who is, let's say, not an engineer, not so well versed with maths, not using it in their daily lives, CAT becomes difficult. Yes, with preparation, you can still manage, but yeah, going through GMAT route and going abroad is a good and viable option if you are struggling with CAT. With respect to pros and cons, I'll just spend a minute there. Pro, definitely international exposure. You will be recognized in the world, not only in India. That's the second one. You will speak to many people around the world and you will learn many culturally different things. The best example is there was a guy who was named, his spelling was Jorge. We called him George. हम लोग वही बोलेंगे, right? ये spelling है. But actually that's a Spanish name and it's pronounced as Jorge. Now, unless you are in that setting, you will not learn such things about the world. So the kind of exposure that you get, that's great. And very related to that, since everyone has some prior work experience, you will be speaking to doctors, you will be speaking to lawyers, you will be speaking to people who have worked in various different industries. So that's a great plus. On the con, two things, the first two things, both related to the financial aspect. Application, it is extremely expensive. Each college will cost you around 25,000 rupees. So even if you are making 4 applications, that's already 1 lakh rupee versus CAT exam is 1,800 rupees. So there is a big difference in that. And plus there is no guarantee that you will get in. Tuition cost and living cost is extremely high abroad. You can safely assume it will be around 1 crore for 1 year or 2 years, whichever program you are going for. Placement cells are not as good. There is the concept of campus placement does not exist. You have to reach out to your friends, you have to reach out to your family, and that's how you find a job. So just imagine you have a big loan obligation because you have WorkX, you are 26 to 28 years old. So soon you will get married, you don't want other liabilities, and at the same time there is no guarantee of placement. So it does become a bit risky, a bit tricky. And related to that, if you have to take care of that financial burden, you must work outside India. So you should be prepared to live outside India for a few years.
Excellent, Nikhil. Very, very well summarized. I think aptly covered, all the pros and cons and the perspectives. Superb. So what I will do is, I'll just take a quick, perspective very quickly to relate to our Kutchi DNA. Okay. See what we have been, what are we good at? Okay. I think from our skill set, we are good at math and communication as a community. We take a lot of initiatives, be it at our work or be it outside. We are known to be entrepreneurs. But even in a corporate world, there is entrepreneurship of taking initiatives. And third, we are very good at networking. Okay, this is the base skill set required, and I'm sure my colleagues will have views around what we need for an MBA. But take MBA as a means to an end. This is not the only thing, because there are many people who may just say, "Acha, MBA kar lo, life will be set." Okay, that's not the end. Okay, many people today are saying, "Acha salary mil jayega, let's do an MBA." Some people say, "Acha VA karna hai, chalo MBA karega now." Okay, so there are a lot of these different angles people have for an MBA. But think of it, it is just a path to a journey. At the bottom is that you have ambition. Ki karnu hai paake, korela karna hai. Okay, be it a job or be it an entrepreneur role. Okay, many of us on the panel today are not entrepreneurs. We are into jobs, hopefully good jobs. But entrepreneurship is also something to be considered, which is now growing very, very well. What we need is education, aptitude, attitude, and awareness. MBA is just one part within the education bucket, but it also covers other elements like aptitude, attitude. Okay. Eventually, we have to come up with our own goals, what you want to do, which will lead to achievements. So think of it, what all you want in life. Okay. Many questions have been around. I think today we've got some 17, 18 questions around preparation, around the type of MBA, around the type of schools, salaries, and placements. Okay. So think of it of what you want to achieve. Okay. Where are you in the journey? And what is your strength and weakness? Okay. I think we can be an achiever in any domain we want. God has given that skill set to our community at large. I'm sorry going in again and again to community. It's just so that because we are many of us here, but we have to assess. If you are like super good, everything, you achieve for the top. Okay. Goal for the best. Okay. If you are at medium, you can still achieve for the best and achieve it. Some of the members said that we were not getting 99% scores, right? We still made it to great IIMs because there was something that drove them that, yes, we can achieve it. And if you are at little medium, you think that, things are really difficult for me, not able to achieve, then go for colleges accordingly. Like the IIMs in the ISB global MBAs would be possibly at the top. Then you'll have the second rung of JBIMS, SPJN, XLRI, MDI, NMIMS, etc., etc. Uske baad, once you come down in Bombay, let's say you have Chetna, MET, etc., etc. So there are layers of colleges, layers of salaries. You can get a salary from, let's say, 5 lakh rupees up to 50 lakh rupees. Okay, I'm just giving normal numbers. There are exceptions on both sides. But let's say according to the type of IIMs. Okay, typically IIMs today's age may be able to give you some, let's say, 15 lakhs of salary, for example. But again, when you see 15 lakhs, 15 means 30% to tax cut jayega. Okay, 10 lakhs, you will get not even 1 lakh rupee per month in your hand. Okay, and expenses. So think of it in a holistic manner of what you are looking at. Just I think some of my colleagues also covered. Just don't look at the numbers which have been arrived at in ads which they come. Okay, 100% placements, etc. So you don't do that. Maybe the best way is that awareness is one of the important parts. When you're preparing, be aware about yourself and then what you want to achieve, and talk to as many people as possible. We all are here. Our contact details have been given on the last slide. Try to talk to us, get more near to reality, and then decide. Don't go with the blind way out. Okay, so this is broadly I want to cover. I think we are done with it in terms of our session. Maybe we are happy to take questions. As I said, there are 4 buckets which I have seen. One is around the preparation part. Second is about the type of MBA. Third is like which school is good at what, and fourth around placements and careers. Okay, so maybe we can spend few minutes on the preparation part. Okay, the questions I'm clubbing questions. One is how good or bad is math. Okay, we are working. Can we prepare for CAT alongside? How much is group work or individual work relevant? What do we go to classes? Which is the best class? And is there something called unstop? Okay, anybody in the panel here who will volunteer around these questions? Math, work ex preparation, group work, best institute, unstop. These are the 5 points under preparation. Happy. I mean, anybody who wants to volunteer to address this. Yeah.
So
yes,
in terms
Kruti.
of math, yeah. In terms of, I want to answer the math question. I was afraid of the quantitative analysis questions because for most part, I thought engineers are so much better, but it is not non-achievable. It is something that you can do. I would say that it's the presence of mind on the day of the exam which will get you there. So I do not have any tips of how to prepare. I haven't looked at the CAT pattern for a long time now, but if it is challenging for you, in most cases, be it any exam, you will work on what challenges you the most, wherever you find difficulties. So just go with that mindset and you'll be fine. I'm happy that if anybody else can answer that.
Anybody else? Akruti, Darshan, Arsh, any other point you want? Nikhil, Aditya, around preparation?
I think let's go forward to take the questions from the crowd now.
No,
Sorry,
these are
I-
questions. Akruti, I've summarized the questions. Okay. So these are the 5 questions on the preparation part. So one was math. Second is how much time do we give along with WorkX? What classes and is Unstop a good idea to do before that? Okay. These are the 5
Unstop is a
questions.
good idea regardless of whether. Don't club it in any case with MBA and all. You can always keep on earning some extra accolades on the side. So I think like that is my view on that. According to, I mean, having classes, etc., I feel like accountability works for me personally. I had somebody to ask me or a peer group against which I could compare myself. So that is very important for me. That's my take on it.
Sure.
Yeah, I think for me too, classes helped in a way that I did not have to think of which books to buy. I did a very short course, 4 months or so, or 5 months, whatever, because that was what the time period I had for me personally. It will be different for everybody else. But it just like I was given the books, I was given the information, and I did not have to spend time. So it was more of a resource beneficial thing for me.
Okay. Anything around how much time to be spent? Anybody wants to address that?
I think Shaz is.
Yeah, I mean, sorry. Yeah, I just had a
Yeah.
point for people who are working, right? With their preparation, with their whether to go for classes or not. I was working during my time of preparation. Chose not to go for classes. The rationale behind it was that I did not have time in the day. I was into IB. Did not have 0 hours to spend anywhere else. The second thing was what I did different from what classes do generally is I went the ulta way. Okay, I took up mock papers. I did not do the syllabus first. I did like 20, 30 odd mock papers. Saw where I'm good at, where I'm not good at, where I need some help. Went to YouTube, watched those videos in maths particularly. Those helped a lot. So people who are not going for classes, it's not like you lose out on a lot of things in my opinion. However, you have to cover up a lot more and spend some time covering it. So
just one thing, on the preparation part, I have done it with a WorkX. Okay. So if you get a chance to go for classes, please go. It's okay. What you have to do is revise, practice, and eventually look at, the mock tests. I did work with the group in the end. Every time I took a test, I sat with the 4-5 people who were my friends. Thankfully, all of them had some advantage. So we could solve a problem because CAT is not only about attempting a question, it's also about which question not to attempt. A. Second, if there are, if there is a method, if there's a sum, there could be 4 ways, 5 ways to solve it. We have to figure out which is the shortest and the best way so that we achieve the outcome in the fastest possible time. Okay. So this is mainly around preparation. The next bunch of
Just
questions are
one
around
thing
the
to
type of
add on
MBA.
that,
Some
Amish.
people,
Yeah.
yes, Aman.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
completely
go ahead, Aman.
iterating the whole classes and the financial element of the classes. It's really going to be a very small element. What it'll bring in is the course material, and you don't have to spend time into research, etc., doing the right thing, and the peer group. But just addressing the second part of the question is that how do you manage it with work experience? So just talking about my experience, I started prep in about March or April. I would make sure I give 1 to 2 mock tests over the weekend, and mock tests are supposed to be given fresh. So I would just analyze those mock tests over the weekdays from Monday to Friday. And on the week areas, just do the focused questions only on the week areas over and above the mock test analysis. So have a very focused prep, and having that peer group, right? Like not only important for choosing the right questions, approaching the right questions, but
I think Aman, your network is, I think, breaking up. Okay. So I'll just take it up. I think here,
and to IIMs and
we lost you, Aman, for 5 seconds. Yeah. Hello.
yes, I've driven my point around like
Sure.
go for material. In fact, there is online material also available. So I had used like the by tab material, which was 100 to 150 hours of content, get it over with, and then mock tests on weekends.
Just from an MBA perspective, one thing I want to highlight, see, for other exams, entrance exam, people leave jobs and, sit and prepare. I don't think CAT is an MBA is one where you have to leave your job and, sit home and prepare. Let's say you've done your BCom, whatever graduation, and then you said, "Acha, ek saal ghar pe बैठ के पढ़ूंगा, CAT के लिए फिर करूंगा." That will not be appreciated. I don't think any college who's looking at your admission will really like कि ये घर पे बैठ के prepare करा था. CAT is a lot. If I again cover from, the business angle, see, it's looking at English, which everybody needs in communication. It's a universal language. Second, it's looking at math. Math, matlab, real-time knowledge, having a brain when you're negotiating. You would have looked at your parents, your family members, mother in the market in the shop or father in the market in the shop, anybody, how negotiations happen, how you're quickly thinking of, deciding basis, what discount, what pricing, right? And third is about how do you analyze data? How do you present it into reports, charts, okay, and stuff like that. So this is what all CAT and MBA is about, right? I mean, the CAT rather. These three things are all required for business. So there is no way that you have to leave your job and do it. Is a personal suggestion I would making. If you do that, you may lose some points in your journey of admissions. Okay, sorry.
Thanks, Amish. Nikhil, this side. Just one very practical thing actually. If you are studying for CAT while working, high chances that's your second attempt, and you would have already prepared for CAT once while you were in your final year. So because of that, you will already know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. So especially during that year, focus on your weaknesses, try to work only on that. So you won't require so much time. Actually, you will require maybe a couple of hours a day, and that should be good enough.
Some question is around, if you are very early FIBMS, first year, second year college, what should we do? I think, you may not want to join a class then, but just figure out, online what is available. Try to work on English. Many of us in our schools may not have had a verbal English. Okay. Of course, the content is English we're studying, but we're not conversing in English with our peers, with our friends and stuff. So try to pick on words. Look at, what that English language is. What are the key words? How are they used? Take a newspaper, for example, read the editorial article and take a dictionary, because one English word can have 3 interpretations, 4 interpretations. Okay. So what is the context in which the word has been used and how are you going to use it in your personal life? So these are things which you can start preparing from now. Okay. Look at math, very simple things. 1 divided by 2, 1 divided by 3, 1 divided by 14, 1 divided by 15. Okay. Do you know that? These are things which will sharpen your mind, and you'll be able to do calculations in a quick, like I was very weak at math across, as Nikhil rightly said. So TY mein maine catch coaching kara tha, I got 96%, nothing happened. I had to take CAT 3 times, okay, before I finally made it to an IIM. I was very determined, IIM mein hi jana. But finally I worked on the weaknesses and did all this basic preparation. Nidhi, you have a point, maybe you can post it on the query, yeah, on the chat, if that's fine. Yeah. So this is broadly around preparation.
MBA la jo English and math boy બહુ સારો ખપે.
Yeah, we have to work on it, okay, ultimately, and we will get through there. Okay. Second,
just on that, right? Like completely hear editorial articles, and I think in the Kutchi community, at least amongst my cousins, we don't read as much. I highly encourage you in your initial years, try to read like fiction, non-fiction to improve your reading speed. But over and above, just to reiterate, I think extracurricular activities are going to be super critical to build your resume. Give CAT, just remove the fear. And another thing I would like to mention is GMAT is valid for 5 years. And yes, the format of the exam is extremely different. But what I had done is given my GMAT and kept the score so that I could apply to ISB's YLP program in the pre-final year and final year. So that preparation is different. Yes, it's a more expensive exam. It's about 20 to 25,000. So you can look at that, whether, you really want to keep that ISB option open or only for one college you want to give it. But I highly encourage that you prep for GMAT, get it out of the way, and it'll build a really strong foundation for your CAT prep as well.
Okay. Yeah, one point, just finally, as a part of preparation, when you're going for colleges, it's not just your college degree that you were a ranker, rank number 1 and ho gaya, okay, we've been great everywhere, chalo yahan pe bhi ho jayega. Okay, you have to focus on other parts of life. When you looked at our profiles in the Patrika ad, you would have seen that we have not just studied, okay, we have done many things other than that. Okay. And again, from our DNA of our community, we can do things which are multitasking. Okay. There are NGOs, there are group activities, there are initiatives. Okay. There are other exams, other activities you can do. So focus on building a holistic profile. Ultimately, what matters is when you are going to meet the world, they should be impressed by talking to you. And that is where businesses happen. You look at your own family, your parents, your neighbors, cousins, when they are being achievers, okay, they have some extra quality. They can talk not only about their domain, but 1,000 other things. And that all comes by preparation. Okay. So that is the key. MBA is all about, what common life requires. Okay. Even an MBA program, because the next questions are all around the type of MBA, kaun sa MBA karo, kaun sa specialization. Let me cover that very broadly. What MBA does is teaches you all the fundamentals of business. If you're doing a 2-year program or a 1-year, most of it all, first they will cover the fundamentals. What is production? What is marketing? What is manufacturing? What is sales? What is HR, human resources? What is finance? What is accounting? They will teach you everything, because agar ek dhanda karna hai, to you have to know everything. Okay. And then second year or after 6 months, you get specialization, marketing, HR, finance. Okay. Now digital marketing, analytics, 1,000 other options are coming. So be clear that we have to learn everything. MBA is manne badhu avde, okay, as people call it. So it is literally manne badhu avde. Okay, we have to know everything. Okay? So that when you're talking to us, see, ultimately nobody can take you for a ride. When you're talking to the person, okay, let's say you are the boss, okay, manager ban ke boss ban jaoge ya to entrepreneur. So your marketing guy will come, saab, yahan pe budget nahi hai, yahan pe zyada paisa chahiye. Production guy will say, this is not available, we can't make it so much. Okay, finance guy will say, I don't have the money. You should have that knowledge कि यार ये अपने को सही बता रहा है कि ये नहीं सही बता रहा है. Okay, do you have that ability and aptitude to handle that person? Okay, and that is why all knowledge is required. So that is MBA. Then you can go into deep dive के कौन सा मुझे करना है, India, outside India, 1 year, 5 year integrated MBA. Okay, that will be depending upon your skill sets and your ultimate choice. As I said, MBA is a means to your end goal. Okay, so that is how, and your skill set. I mean, some people can't take CAT. Okay, so they will go through a GMAT route. But even that is not possible because GMAT se international expensive ho jata hai. But GMAT can give you entry into 1-year programs. Like my real brother itself is an MBA. He was very bad at CAT and very good at GMAT. Okay. Ultimately, 3 bar, 4 bar CAT deke bhi nahi hua. But GMAT deke he got into IIM, one of the IIMs for 1-year program. Till then he worked for 5 years. So he built that profile. As somebody covered, right? For an exact program, you need to have more work-ex. For a normal MBA, 1 or 2 years of work-ex, right? In India. So determine, these are the parameters. Having said that, on the type of MBA, the questions are around, should I do an executive 1 year or a 2 year or a part-time? Should I do integrated, global versus Indian? Okay. Is an BBA better, global BBA better? So happy to have volunteers from the group who can address these questions. These are broadly around the type of MBA. I've given my share, but Darshan, Arsh, Nikhil, Aditya, Akruti, Kruti, Aman, Harshal, any points you want to cover here?
I would just say एक simple change like you covered, right? Most of you guys are pretty young. You guys have not worked, so you don't even understand what these jargons, as people say, right? What does marketing mean? What does finance mean? Or what does XYZ product management mean, etc., etc. So if you go ahead with a preconceived notion कि यार मेरे को ये specialization करना है, etc., you are restricting yourself in terms of exploring other things. Like again, Amish mentioned, MBA, the whole point of MBA is to explore, get to know stuff, understand stuff, go out, start working for a couple of years, and in the long term, depending on what you start liking, not liking, you will course correct and you will get into things which you do, right? MBA is going to equip you to be in that position to make those changes for yourself. So thinking कि यार MBA in marketing करना है versus 1 year, 2 year, long run में nothing matters. Long run में what thing matters is what to take away from the education which you had and how have you kind of skilled yourself or improved, taken those sweet points which will help you become better than someone else in the market. At the end of the day, it's a competition between you and someone else, and you have to prove that you are better, you are the best man for the job. So that is what matters. It does not matter कि I am Ahmedabad से MBA किया है कि वेलिंगकर से MBA किया है कि if you've done it from some anything, it does not matter. For example, simple thing, right? I work at BITM. My Vijay Shekhar Sharma does not even have a MBA, right? But he has possibly the biggest financial services institution in the country. He does not do MBA, but he's learned stuff as he gone. So it does not matter. It is all about how whatever you take away from it.
Any other point, Arsh, Aditya, from your side around type of MBA? Because there are questions around digital marketing, and I've done medical. Can I do MBA? I'm pharma student. What I do? Any thoughts around here around the MBAs? Yeah.
No, I think like Darshan mentioned, see, it doesn't matter which one of these that you decide to take up, as long as you have clarity. All of them can give you fantastic results. But it's just about you having clarity, and it's a very person specific, individual specific decision. So before you decide anything, just be sure of your options, evaluate everything, and take the best decision for yourselves. And once you've taken that decision, make sure you put effort into that decision also. So yeah, that's what I want to say.
So, guys, in my batch, okay, one more thing I want to cover is the thing. I mean, it's a personal example, but my batch had engineers, had CAs, had doctors. There were 3 PhDs and dentist students. Okay, there were lawyers. Okay, there were art students. There was somebody who had done poetry. See, in Bombay, we've done typically, at least in our age group, CA, engineering, ho gaya kaam khatam, BA, whatever. Outside of Bombay, once you go, there is a lot of diversity. Again, it is coming in Bombay now, but there were graduates who have done economics. They've done only arts and specific to psychology. Okay, so you will find a lot of diversity. An MBA school tries to get students from all different categories and a mix of boys and girls accordingly. Okay, so the life when you go there, you may just, you may have been a rock star here in your school, always first ranker. But there, once you go, you may find somebody who's the topper of Bihar. You may find somebody who's done national level swimming for India and represented India on that level. Okay, so these are the kind of people you come across. And hence, again, knowledge of everything is important because you have to communicate it all. Somebody mentioned that working with teams is important. So on the campus, again, they will form teams which have diverse groups of people. Because in your friend circle, let's say you're doing CA, तो पूरा लाइफ सीए में ही चला गया. वो 5 साल तक सारे दोस्त सीए ही थे. ओके, और उसके सिवा दुनिया देखा ही नहीं. ओके, कि क्या करने का, right? And hence preparing things which are other than your normal domain right now onwards is important. And then see के कहाँ पे जाने का है. Digital marketing, pharma, etc. Wherever you go, the bottom line is MBA is giving you a skill set to run and manage a business. Either you're managed by working somewhere or run by becoming an entrepreneur. ठीक है? And आगे चल के as you grow, what is very important is all these friends you made in your MBA journey are with you. So any problem you are stuck in, just one phone call. कि hey, दर्शन यार, ये तू पेटीएम में है, ओके, तो मेरे को यार ये फाइनेंस का ये समझ में नहीं आ रहा, जरा कैन यू एक्सप्लेन मी कि अपन पेमेंट्स कैसे करेंगे, मेरा ऑनलाइन बिजनेस है पर पेमेंट लिंक कहाँ से लेके आऊं. So just one call to Darshan and that you are. Okay, so this is the power of what MBA gets to you. So think of that also. And hence, always try to go for the best college, subject to your capability and try to up the capability. जितना अच्छा कॉलेज में जाओगे, इतना अच्छा नेटवर्क बनेगा, इतना लाइफ में और काम कर पाओगे. Okay, it's all network, which will eventually matter because as somebody said that some of the guys are not MBA guys. When I was a junior, I was reporting to somebody who was a CA, and we were 3 IIM guys reporting to him. Okay. Happens. Okay, you start in a different way. You see where you want to go, and 5-10 साल के बाद it will be your knowledge and your content and your ability to manage which will matter. Okay, but right now it is important to do a good MBA. It gives you that good stamp. It gives you that good reputation. Okay, so be clear कि क्या as I said, not that शादी level वाला MBA. Be clear. अगर करना है तो अच्छा करना है, नहीं करना है तो छोड़ देना. घर के पापा मम्मी के पैसे वेस्ट मत करना. All the MBAs have become expensive now. In my times, 3-4 lakh में होता था. Now everything is 15-20 lakh. And these young fellow panelists can confirm because I've done it 15 years back. But if that is the case, then please think through. Because अभी abroad में, as Nikhil said, कि 1 crore का MBA, but सामने salary भी 1 crore का होगा. But 3-4 साल तक आप घर पे कुछ पैसा नहीं दोगे. You're just repaying the loan. So even in India, if you do a 20 lakh MBA and you get a 10 lakh, 12 lakh job, so 3-4 साल तक you're just paying the loan and the rents and everything. So you're not giving money back to your parents. Okay, so think of it where you fit in and accordingly target. Sorry, any other point I think which the team has can cover? Yeah. There are points around, should we do CFA? Should we do anything else alongside? I think the broader answer is that yes, any form of knowledge is valuable. No knowledge ever goes for a waste. Even if you've done a MCOM, okay, simple thing. I had done an MCOM side by side along with them after my BMS, okay, where it helped me, it gave me few points which added my score in the CAT evaluation. And I got a call from IIM Indore. Okay, so any knowledge of any format is not a waste. This was selection. Going ahead in a job, okay, if you've done your CFA, that degree will give you additional knowledge of around finance. And if you want to go into a great field of finance, let's say equity research or something of that sort, that knowledge is always help you. And even in your selection for job interviews, etc., they may consider it. So any form of knowledge is good. Don't do it for the sake of it. Ke sab log bol rahe hain. If you like it, do proper research of what you want to do and then go for it. And today, thankfully, like when we did MBA 15 years back, it was just talking to people. Right now, there's a lot of it available on internet. And thankfully, like as somebody said, we also got guidance. 15 years back, somebody had guided me that this is what MBA leads to. And I took my journey. So follow that. Anybody, any point? Akruti, Kruti, Aman on this around the type of these schools or the type of MBA?
I guess you covered it all, like within the last 5 minutes. Probably like relevance in other geographies was also covered. And
for more targeted advice now, I mean, please do feel free to reach out to us, SRK Manike. You can message us on LinkedIn and find us everywhere. So just reach out to us and try to explain your specific situation, because even we are limited by the things that we have seen or experienced. So
yeah. So,
touch on two key things, okay? And
yes, Nikhil.
This is based on the experience. So, first thing, while choosing a college, might be slightly controversial, but I would always say choose a brand over a specific course. There were questions, for example, should I do finance from this college? Should I do this from this college, etc. Now, all IIMs are, I would say, equally well reputed, but typically go by the ranking. And a very simple example is, and I was just talking in the room right now, when someone goes to your LinkedIn profile, you won't get a chance to explain yourself कि मैंने ये college choose किया क्योंकि मुझको ये course करना था. No one is going to look that. वो क्या करेंगे? They will open the LinkedIn profile. They'll see this person has studied here. They will decide if they want to initiate a conversation or not. So typically, while choosing, I would say there are few FI, first year, second year, junior college students also valid even for your undergraduation. Try to choose college with a better rank, with a better brand name. It will help next 40-50 years of your life. And my example, I graduated from INSEAD. I am 100% sure 90% people in this call know Harvard and they don't know INSEAD. Though INSEAD was number one for several years, still people will not know that college. So it does make a difference. That's one. Second thing I want to touch about regarding the preparation. And I see Darshan, he's also from IIT. JEE preparation is very intense. The title of today's seminar was Cracking the CAT. Preparation is very important and you will have to put in many hours. Now, first thing, without preparation, you cannot get in. Okay. There might be few super smart people. They might be 1 in 10,000 who are getting in without the preparation, but you must prepare and you must work hard to get in. Having said that, if you are not getting in, does not mean there is a problem with you. And I'll tell you why it helps. The moment you start putting in time for preparation, I think Akruti and Arsh, they were talking about it. It's a process. You get into that rhythm. That's how you do. If you start preparing for something 12 hours a day, 15 hours a day, the moment you start doing that, later when it comes to real world, when you are working and there is a tight deadline and you have to deliver something, you can easily do that because you have done it before. So preparation is not about just cracking the exam. It is about preparing you for much difficult things in your work later on. So don't get disappointed even if you don't crack an exam. The preparation has helped you in many other ways, which you will realize later.
Just one point on IPM. Now, this is a new kid on the block. Okay, you don't need to do a CAT for it. Okay, so if you want, you can do it. Okay, The pros and cons, of course, you'll get an IIM degree. That's a positive. Okay. The con is industry will know कि ये 5 साल का करके आया है. Okay, ये CAT के through नहीं गया है. And let me tell you, today the reason why some of these INSEADs and IITs and IIMs, why are they popular? I'll tell you one reason. I spoke that, campus pe jaake you'll find that everybody is the best. Okay, ekdam like on these big colleges. The person next to me, right, left, top, bottom, everybody is a guru. The reason is they've come through a very tough selection process. CAT, JEE, GMAT, whatever. So that itself is half the battle won. कि boss इतना करके आया मतलब कुछ तो बंदे में दम होगा. ठीक है? So accordingly take a call. IIPM gives you the campus, gives you the chance to do interaction with the other 2-year graduates who come through CAT, etc. So great, but will industry consider you at par? Eventually, initially no. Okay, first entry level job के लिए, but उसके बाद of course आपके skill पे you will grow. Okay, but for the first job, it may or may not be as strong. But you think of it, okay, whether you want to take, because if you just get in for a 5-year lock-in, you may not be able to explore other options. You've locked yourself in if you start a 5-year one. So that's a negative part. Positive is that sure MBA IIM के साथ ही आपका होने वाला है. Okay, yeah. I think our team is responding to most of the queries on the chat box. Anything more, we are happy to cover. I think it's 8:56. Maybe we'll take another. I think maybe we call it a close now and hand it over to Elabain for this. I think once again, on behalf of the group here, I just want to say thanks Nikhil, who's from the INSEAD side, but most of the others today we are from IIMs. And just for the community's benefit, there is a group called IIM KVO, which has been formed. Like how we have had the CA Association, we formed this around a couple of years back. Thanks to Matushri, Manibai, Shivji, Devji, Kanya, Kelavni Fund, which has scheduled this. This becomes the first activity of the group, I think, after a period of 5-7 years. And my request is that if you all are aware of other members who have gone to IIMs from the KVO community, please share their contacts with Elabain or us, and we'll get them added to the group. And eventually, as a community, we all want to work with all of you. So we would be approachable. Our contact names were in the Patrika. We are all on LinkedIn. Please add us, okay? And message us with your queries. We would be more than happy to help. Some of us, in our respective regions, are happy to meet you in person also and take you through the journey, because information has to be right before your decision. Okay, that's the bottom line. I think I would like, yeah, Kruti, after you say, I'll hand it over back to Ela ma'am. Yeah, yes, Kruti.
I just wanted to say this, like when you're sending us LinkedIn request, please write one note, like you watched us in this seminar or you have some questions. It will just help us understand better. It's not a spam or it's some genuine person writing to us. Say anything, type it in Kutchi, it is fine, whatever, but just make sure you do that for us to just understand who's it.
Sure.
Yeah, just
Thank
before,
you once again.
before I hand over to Kishore Bhai, Kishore Kenya, who's the secretary of this organization, I'd just like to say 2 things. One is that there is a link, which is to the participants, I'm saying this. There is a link which is leading you to a feedback form, which you need to fill up. It's just about 5 questions, and it'll just take you 2 minutes. And the second part of it is this entire PPT will be available to you. We'll probably put the link on the institutional website. And also for the YouTube video, we have already privately streamed it live, but yes, we will keep it available for all of y'all. So I'm handing over now to Kishore Bhai.
Hello. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Moderator.
It's breaking up, right? Sorry.
And thank you to all the panelists. It was a wonderful
Kishore Bhai, your voice is
journey. I hope the students.
Yeah, I'll just sum it up. I think his voice is because he's not here in town, he's away, but he has heard every bit of your session. Kishore
I think, ma'am, you're
is
also breaking up
very
now.
keenly interested in all. So this connection was there. So we are to you. Am I better now?
Sorry. Maybe you'll have
Is
to
this
put your
better?
video off, ma'am. Yeah, slightly better. Yeah.
Okay. So I'd just like to say one thanks to all the panelists. And this is on behalf of Kishore Bhai, who was supposed to propose the vote of thanks, but some network issue. And on behalf of the entire organization, we really thank all of y'all. And just to tell you, Amish, there were many young stars who have passed out from IIM who are probably not on your group. So maybe from the list that you can see, you can add them also there. And yes, thanks to all of you, each and every one. And we wish that we are able to continue this journey and not just restrict it to this session, because from the number of questions that have come in, I'm sure they still have many more questions. So maybe we can do a little hand holding, at least till they reach the IIMs. And then, of course, the journey will be theirs. So I hope all of you all are for it. Yes, for the mentoring
Thank
part.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank
Really
you very
appreciate
much.
this.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, my
Thank
fellow Pillar members. Really appreciate giving time, at this hour. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. It was great interacting. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Kindly fill up the feedback form. The link is already given.